so we are solving systems of linear inequalities. So this adds to what we did before when we graphed inequalities, except this time we are going to have a system of inequalities to graph on the same graph. Okay, so a system of linear inequalities is two or more linear inequalities in the same variables, and the solution is an ordered pair, just like the solution of two linear lines. Okay, so we're going to solve them by graphing. So the first step is to graph each inequality, and then we have to find the intersection of all of the inequalities. So they're going to overlap and intersect like we did before, and we're going to do shading. So we're first going to graph these. So just a few reminders. So if it's less than or greater than, remember it's a dotted line or a dashed line. And if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, then you get the solid line. Okay, so we're going to graph these one at a time and shade them one at a time. So I'm going to start by graphing the first one. So I would put a point at -2. Okay, so I'm going to put a point at -2, and then I have to go down 1, right 1. Or I could go up 1, left 1. Okay, so this is a dashed line because it is greater than, and there's no equal to. So you make a dashed line. Does anybody remember how we tested these?
Don't you put something in for X, and then if it's right, then that's where you shade, and if it's not, you put all other stuff?
Correct. Okay, so we tested it by putting in a number in a solution, and it has to be a number that is not on the line. So I can't choose something on my line. Remember, we would usually choose 0, 0 if we could. That was the easiest one to choose. So in this case, we can because 0, 0 is not on your line. So if I plug in 0, 0, I would have 0 is greater than -0 minus 2. So that 0 is greater than -2. Okay, is that true? Yes, so I'm going to shade on over 0, 0. So I have to shade to the right. Okay, so then now I'm going to graph the second equation, and this one is going to be a solid line because it's less than or equal to. So I'm going to put a point at +6, and then my slope is +3, so I would have to go up 3, right 1, but that would be off of my chart. So how should I go? Down 3, left 1. Okay, so again, I have to choose a point to check. I would choose 0, 0 because it doesn't go through my line. So 0 is less than or equal to 3 times 0 plus 6. So 0 is less than or equal to 6, which is true. So I'm going to shade to the right. Now, when you shade to the right, you're doing it to the right of this line. So you are going to end up shading down here as well. So that's why you want to use your second color, not the color you used for the first one. Okay, so it works much better on a piece of paper for your colors to overlap than it does a smartboard. But where my colors overlap is the solution area, is where you're gonna have a solution. So I'm gonna go through with a third color and I darken my solution. So I'm gonna go through with a highlighter and this would actually be, this would actually be where the solution is. It works much better when you have it on paper and like two colors overlap together to make a different color. Okay, so we're just gonna keep practicing this. Graphing and finding a solution, and then we're eventually gonna graph with 3 equations. All right, so number 2, we're gonna go through that same process. I'm trying to click this. Okay. So if I graph the first one, it is a dashed